Happy dance. It's that time again.
Hey,
how's,
Dan.
how's everybody doing? It is that time again. We've got another episode of, I don't think we have a title for this. Me, John Zidar, and my lovely co-host LilyStar talking to our viewers about OTC and penny stocks. Wow, that's a long title. Glad that's not
A
going on
long
the book.
title. It's a long title. Markets to the moon. I don't know. How you
Speaking
doing,
of markets to the moon, it looks like we've got some volatility in the OTC market again. We were up over 10 billion this year. This week we were at 15 billion, I think, the other day, 13 billion yesterday. I mean, I hate to see it going the opposite way, but anything over 10 billion generates some activity on the market.
Exactly.
Also noticed, we had two bills passed. You had the semiconductor bill passed, and we had the green energy and health bill passed. And as a matter of fact, while I'm telling you about this stuff, I want to bring up news, right? So I'm just going to make this easy. We're just not going to have me bouncing around here.
Yeah, you just bring that up, and I'm going to talk about those bills a little bit. So the CHIP Act, what started out, 52 billion, and then they increased it to 280 billion or something. That comes out of us. They're not going to the companies and saying, hey, y'all made 20 billion last year, build your own factories. That's not what's happening here. So they've been profitable. Now we're on a run because of it. But it's because it's us, you guys. That's where it's all going to come from.
The truth is, from what I've noticed, the semiconductor bill hurt more than it helped. I have seen a lot of semiconductor companies falling, and I've been picking up tidbits about the bill, like you can't be doing business in China if you want this American grant money. Well, most all of them are doing business in China, so that's a step backwards.
That's true. It could be because Pelosi sold her calls. Who knows? Anyway, so the Inflation Reduction Act, that's another fancy thing. I mean, it's like an oxymoron, John. Inflation Reduction Act doesn't even make sense. We're going to make money to reduce inflation. That doesn't happen. So that's another thing I'm not liking.
Double talk.
I did. Yeah, it was. And I did read through it, though, and I've noticed what I picked up on was a lot of green energy stuff or whatever. So we're seeing our solar stocks moving up. Our moving up.
The green energy and health bill that was passed, that seems to be doing a lot more good, especially on the OTC market. There's a lot of green energies and health companies running.
Yes, I actually played one this week. It wasn't an OTC, but a recently IPO. I want to say it probably came from the OTC market, the G-Wave, GWAV.
Oh, right. I seen you posting about that on Discord for the last couple of days.
I was playing that one pretty good, and it had a nice run. It went to 510, I think. Of course, it's sold off now. It's a low float, so it's highly unpredictable and very volatile.
Well, most of the stocks are doing that. When I look at stocks to talk about on my videos, they all have great runs in the morning because that's when the news comes out. That's when everybody read the news. And then after everybody's made their money, it comes down. And half of them, I show everybody, well, now we got to wait for the second bounce. Is it going to continue? Sure. And God only knows if it's going to continue. It's those initial bounces. It's always nice to find news late in the day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what I was happy about is I found that one before the move was made. And that's how I like to play them. That's how.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I called it out, and it was, in our free section. So I'm hoping there was some people that benefited from that. So that's really good.
There's our link going by, folks, right there. If you want to join us over at the Discord where Lily's posting, I'm posting. We're looking for more people for OTC. We got lots in the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange.
That link should say Wizard Lily or Lily Wizard. You got to give me something, John.
That sounded like Lizard, Willy Lizard or Lizard Willy.
That's fine. Just make it Lizard. I'm fine with that.
The Lizard Show. There you go. Lily and the Wizard. I love it.
That's funny.
And just in case most of you don't know, we're not just here to shoot the BS. We're just doing this because it was 4 o'clock. Some of you got to get home. Some of you got to let the dog out, grab a beer, hit the head, whatever it is. So we're just kind of meowsing around here, sharing some news. But we are here to talk about stocks you want to talk about, stocks you may be invested in, interested in. Doesn't just have to be the charts. It could be the news, the financial. We'll gladly look at it. So be as specific as you can, whatever it is you want us to look at. And if you have a particular like, Lily and I are different in the way we look at charts, in the way we trade. That's what makes the Discord so great. Everybody has their own skill set, and we hone ourselves off of each other. So
that's right.
That's
so
why
much
we're here.
variety, right?
Yeah. Who wants the same old thing? I got more than one spice in my spice cabinet. I do. I do.
That's good. That's good. So
cinnamon used to be the only one there. Now it's cinnamon and garlic salt. But I'm stretching out. Never mix the two.
Branching out. Yeah. So what have you been watching this week, John? Have you had any good plays? Anything interesting? I see USMJ on there. That's a marijuana stock, isn't it?
Yeah, this is news I've looked at personally. This is news.
Gotcha.
Every piece of these news
Ooh,
I read.
I see AITX. I'm seeing ones that I like playing.
These are juicy.
Before.
There's no financial news or warrants news. This is all activities, things that the companies are doing. And about 99% of it is off the OTC. There's a couple penny stocks on the NASDAQ in there, but most of them aren't. But this is all just the last 3 or 4 days. And you know how news is. They normally announce something as it's occurring, not before it's done. So there is a lot of information here. This is one of the best things I like now about the videos. I'm getting a lot of comments just from stuff people find in here.
Good.
I've been watching a few stocks this week. We had big news. We'll take a look at it here in a minute after this news gets its second roll through. TGGI, we've talked about that a couple times. TGGI is an OTC penny stock. And we've been waiting for years, literally a couple years, for a merge to occur with the Chinese wine company. Well, it occurred just the other day. And the stock did not react the way I expected it. Matter of fact, I made a comment on Twitter about being disappointed with the chart. And woo, I have never had so much activity on Twitter in my entire life.
Did it keep you busy?
There was like 400 comments in 3 hours.
Oh.
It was, but it also exploded the stock. I mean, the stock. No, not the stock. I wish it exploded the stock. The video. The video I put out the night before, I guess curiosity drew everybody in. Every cat in town came to check it out. And it jumped into the thousands. And not a lot of comments after watching it. Now, the thing is that the merger is big. It's not as big as everyone thought. We were hearing $6 billion, but this was just a number that got tossed around. I'm sure it was part of the rumor factor back then. But the deal did complete. The CEO that owns TGGI is also the CEO that owns the wine company. And this CEO used to be a celebrity in China. He used to be a singer, sang love songs about wine. So he went out and made his own wine, 53 proof or 53% alcohol. It's really some potent stuff. And has been actually advertising the stock over in China, but nothing was coming over here. So I was dead disappointed.
What's important about what you just said, John? Did he make any songs, love songs about wine? That's what's important. And I need to know.
So let's take a look at that.
Let's look at it.
GGI chart. You guys can see that, right? It's all working good.
Why were y'all giving my wizard man such a hard time? Let's look at this. My goodness.
All right. So what I've got over here, I've always got my 1 hour. So I've got a nice glance over to here to see how the breakouts are going on. But over here, we've got our 5-minute chart. And this is actually when the news came out. Let's see here. I actually have it up right there. Yeah, let's see. The news came out. They didn't have a lot of news. Transglobal Inc. enters into share exchange agreement and completes acquisition of ZXG Zhongjingai Holdings. I hate saying it. I had to say it 100 times when I made the video. That came out on the 8th. And this jump was on the 5th. This was on the 5th. And a lot of that is pre-market. But my point here is that somebody knew something here. She was pretty docile. She was actually falling. And then she started to jump here before the news came out. And understand this company hasn't had news in a very, very long time. They don't talk to us Americans. I know I just pissed some people off. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. But it started to jump, and then it jumped real quick here early in the morning. Now, that's great. You know, I was glad to see a bounce on it. But, you know, this is one of those stocks people were talking to the moon. That's not the moon. That's not even out of the atmosphere. It just took a nice jump and it gave all of it away, didn't it? And now it's starting to curve back around. But the truth of the matter is there's a lot more involved with this company. They've got some sort of mall deal that they're working with. They have a seed company that they're working with. They have a lot more things that are coming underneath the umbrella. But it has just started. It is happening now. We've been waiting for it. They now have 4 subsidiaries where 3 days ago they had no subsidiaries. There was one change. I posted it. They were a shell company, obviously. Now they're a shell risk. Just that bloody quick. In 2 days, they went from shell to shell risk. And it's like, well, give the company a bloody chance. They just got the business up 2 days ago, haven't had a chance to file anything, and they're a shell risk already. But as you can see, it did come down and just rolled right up under that 200, and it's coming back up. And it's actually got some nice curve to it right now. Not that I'm expecting it to take off, but with these sort of stocks, you never know. It's kind of like my video. Most of my videos get about 250 views. Then all of a sudden, word gets out that there's something interesting on it, and boom, it jumps to 4,000. Well, that can
there's a lot of people looking for that one, obviously. There might have been
there's a big crowd behind this.
That move. Yeah.
And they're pretty close to their stock. Don't say anything bad about it. And
they got to be
wearing Kevlar. I'm telling you what.
They got to be. But I mean, you do see the move, but you see the move before the news. And really, it was a good move, but it sold right off. But it's holding up pretty well. I don't know where it goes from here. But weren't you saying that acquisition was supposed to be about $6 billion?
Yeah, but you know,
what did it end up being?
That number was never in print. You know, I'm sure once the hype got started, the balloon got bigger, the fish was a whale, you know. So I should take some of that stuff with a grain of salt. So, and their assets, they did put the financials into the 8K. It was a huge 8K, lots of information. And it was like $1.2 million. It wasn't even 1.2 billion.
Wow. Yeah,
now, I don't know.
Different.
You've got to understand it. This is a Chinese company that has merged with a Chinese company. And they have a company in the middle, a neutral company they call a PRC, I believe it is. It's in the British Virgin Islands. This TGEGI cannot work directly with their company. They have to work with the middleary company that can work with China. So there could be more on the books over there. You know how we're having problems over here with Chinese companies not being able to give as much information as the NASDAQ or the OTC requires because China doesn't want a lot of that information out.
They're being warned about that right now.
Exactly. So they may have a lot more over there than we see on the books over here just because that's the way China wants it. So I don't want to jump to any conclusions. But you asked me if I was watching one. Yeah, I've been watching this one for 2 years. And it finally opened up the door a few days ago. I see we have a comment on one stock that came in early, actually. Good gracious. 9:20 in the morning. Boy, this guy had a sleeping bag. He's been waiting at the door all day. Gotta look at this one just for him. Actually, I did take a look at this. Now he says, let's bring that one up. AVCT getting right for a squeeze. Now, I presume you're talking about a short squeeze. People borrowing the shares, right? And they're betting on the stock falling. And if it starts to rise, they get scared and they got to get those shares back in there. And the only way they can do that is to buy them. They got to buy them for more expensive than they borrowed them for. And that's how the price goes up and we make money, like Game and AMC. These guys get trapped having to buy stuff at more expensive prices and got no choice. They have to buy them. So I don't know what their share float is here. I see they've got 94 million. And normally we have short interest listed down here, but they don't have anything listed. And I have not jumped around to learn anything about this. Maybe if you could drop, Todd, if you're here, I don't know if you stepped out of line or what, but if you're still here, maybe you could give us a few pieces of information about how much short interest there is on this stock.
I mean, we can look at the chart too and see what it's looking like, if it's primed, maybe.
Wow, they have had a serious jump in income. 2020 they did 1.6 million. This last year they did 20 million. There's 3 zeros.
That's huge.
That's a big jump. And quarterly, minus $62 million for that quarter. Holy cow. But they're
What?
back up to 4. Yeah, that's what this shows, that they may have ended the year at 20 million, but they took a loss of
Yeah.
62 million on that quarter.
That's nasty.
Yeah. They're coming back up. So I could see why people might think the price was going to fall, why they'd be borrowing on this thing, because it's losing money right now.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's being shorted. I will say that, that makes sense.
AVCT.
AVCT. Let's look at it. Why not?
All right. See a big poke here and a medium poke here and a roll over the hill right there. We are looking at 5 minutes, and there's your 1 hour. You can definitely see the lower highs. They stand out like a sore thumb here. She keeps breaking that 200, but she is on a downtrend the hard way. I mean, she's giving money away on the way down. Volume has been pretty strong, and a lot of activity. Pre-market.
That is a lot of volume.
Yeah, that's really been kicking up. Yeah, I can't tell the full day here. Today she is fighting, and she's gone deep today under the 200. She normally doesn't get that deep, but boy, look at that bounce. She is bouncing up very hard right now. Oh, we got a perfect pattern right here, folks. If you look right here in this square, you see what looks like a mirror image here? Looks like a fat bottle that gets real skinny and then opens up at the top. That is a pattern that shows you these squeezing down. That is when the price will fall. Guaranteed, if you see this pattern, the price is falling, and then when it starts to spread back open, the price goes up. There's lots of patterns you can look for, but with the PPO, the percentage price oscillator on the top, and the ADX, which is a trend, this shows you the continuation of trend, not the direction of trend. This line could be going up or down. Doesn't matter. It's just showing you is the trend continuing. And as soon as this started to spread, the price is rising on the PPO. The trend has changed from falling to up. Long as it keeps spreading, you're going to keep getting gains up here. I love that pattern. So it looks like she's just kind of going sideways right now. She's kind of found herself a high means in this area. But I do see that the 50 is turning under on the 1 hour, but she's falling over on the 5 minute. So it's a balancing game right now. It doesn't look like there's anything to push her up. So I don't know where the squeeze would come from, but any catalyst, right? Any piece of news gets people excited and they start buying it, then you're going to get yourself a potential squeeze here.
I'm just floored at the volume I'm seeing right here. I mean, to me, just looking at this chart, and I'm assuming this is for the day, but they're battling it out. Look at it. The volume's telling you right there, and then the direction.
I wonder
how they battle back and forth right there. So there's a fight going on.
I'm going to see if I can pull up that AVC. We'll just come on down here and see what that is.
I'm not familiar with this one. I wrote it down to research it.
AVCT.
Yeah.
Volume today was 25 million.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Doesn't. And did they show us over here on the chart what the quote was today? 4 million is her average. So she's up. She's pretty 5 times today.
Yeah, that's way bigger than what you would normally expect.
PB alerts. Hey, thanks for stopping in, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got a couple stocks here we can look at. If you guys are just interested in what we've been looking at before you toss on the table.
I don't have anybody to ask, and I told them they could put it in there. So if y'all have one, put it in there. We'll look at it, you guys.
Yeah, put it in there. All right, one of the stocks that was running today was BLFR, Blue Fire Equipment. They had news today, and it's the only news on the board. Blue Fire Equipment reports that it's debt-free and current with the OTC markets after its restructure for its pending merger and new direction. I think they covered every base, first, second, third, and home plate. They just covered everything there. And to be honest, I never even read into this news, but you can see we're at 138% gains on this today. She's up to 4 cents. Her volume increase from 2,000 to 2 million. Yeah. I do believe that is 100 times her normal volume right there.
a lot.
Share structure. You got a low float, 15 million on the money. I mean, they chose that. You don't just fall on all zeros. So you got a real low float. And as I said, I don't know anything about this company. It doesn't look like they're making any money. Oh, shell risk. We got shell risk up here. So obviously they've made a change here. So BLFR, you may want to come over here and jump into this. We don't have enough time to dive into that because I want to show you some other stocks that we're running today.
Well, before you do that, John, we do have one from PB Alerts. They they got a ticker for the Wizard, a favorite of yours, TBPMF. Had good news yesterday, and it's just not doing anything.
Ah, yes, TBPMF. I'm not much for biopharma techs and stuff, but TBPMF is one that has my belief, even though she has my frustration too. It's a Canadian company. They make a SARS drug. They make pain relief drugs. They make eye ulcer drugs.
I remember you talking about them.
And they do it all with the same stuff. Every single drug is made with the exact same ingredients: CBD, THC, and terpenes. And they use a very specific amount of each. It is a science. And the special magic in it are the terpenes. Terpenes are nothing more, at least what we've been thinking, essence of smell in flavor. It's what you use to put in your beers and your perfumes and stuff like that to give it essence. Well, they've learned that these are actually arrows. They actually are guided missiles that take the THC and the CBD to specific zones of your body so they can actually pinpoint where it goes. And they're prodrugs, which means they don't metabolize until they get to their destination. And by inhaling it, which is how these drugs are used, by not the eye ulcer one, the pain relief, you inhale them. And well, if you smoke a cigarette or smoke marijuana, you know how fast inhalation works. In less than 3 minutes, you're feeling whatever it is that you've done. So let's take a look at the news. I know they had news about, what was it? TBPMF. Didn't they make another deal with another company? Oh, that's right. Their ARDS. Tetra Biopharma announces positive preclinical results of ARDS-003, a novel therapeutic for sepsis and viral infections. Now, is this the one?
That's good news.
Yeah, there it is. See, this is on the table. They've been doing a lot of work with their Quixleaf and their Calms, which are the pain relief. One's botanical and one is synthetic. They've been trying to get it passed here for the last year. It was a 10-week trial. It just never got finished. So they've gone over to Australia to get those approved. And they've made deals with Avicana and they've made deals with Tilray. They've got everything set up, distribution, supply. They're in good shape, but they're not making any money. They've got a couple drugs on the market, Reduvo for nausea. They've got that one out there. And if you are interested in Calms or Quixleaf, it is available in the United States from your doctors under the right to try. It is already out there and available for that. It's just not out in the pharmacies or your dispensaries because it will be sold in both pharmacies and dispensaries. So if it's legal, if cannabis is legal, it can just be sold in a dispensary. It doesn't have to be a drug, it's safe. But the SARS is a whole nother thing. This is the drug they're really excited about. When I say they, I mean the company. They see this being a $60 billion drug, not a market tap in, what they're going to pull in. $60 billion. From what I understand, 25 million people a year die of SARS. It is a lung-related disease that comes after other things have affected you. COVID, pneumonia, it can be a lot of things. And there's no cure for it. Now, this is not a cure. It's more like a preventative. It stops it from happening. Now, wouldn't you rather have it stop it before it happens so you didn't have to go through all the suffering first and then get better? Heck yeah. So this is one that is big. And why the stock didn't move? Well, we have had a little bit of growth. I mean, it hasn't been much. We still haven't broke that 6 cents mark. We're above 4 cents. We've been down there too long. We're at 5 cents. And I bought this initially at 31 cents. That was my very first purchase on this stock, 31 cents. And I've watched it fall ever since. And that was back when they announced the 10-week trial. But after a year, people have gotten upset. It just didn't happen. Yes. So we're back in a waiting game. And I think a lot of people are just frustrated and they want to see something bigger than just potential. We want to actually see something accomplished. That's just a feeling. It's just
And
a
that
feeling.
can be frustrating, especially when you're holding a stock or if you have investors that really believe and all these things are coming, it's just not coming to fruition. They will get tired of it and sell off. And that's where we sit at right now. But I mean, if that one's held in the cents range, especially
Yeah,
since
let's
it's
go all the way
downturn, I
back.
think that's pretty good.
So there's your 3-year chart. And let's see, this is May of last year. That is January of 2020. So she's had big bounces on news, but she doesn't hold it. She always continues falling, and we've had a very long fall. And I bought it somewhere. Gee whiz, my goodness. Yeah, I bought it back here when everybody was excited about it. And I'll tell you something, folks. This is one lesson I've learned, and I still have to keep reminding myself. Unless you are strictly in it for a day trade, don't buy a stock the day the news comes out. Don't do it. It is going to be the most expensive price you pay. People are buying it then. They're pushing the price up. It's going to fall. Wait.
Everybody loves it that day or the couple of days
Yeah,
after.
for a day
Everybody
trade,
loves
that's
it.
great. But if you're saying, oh, I'm going to get into this because I think it's going to grow 6 months down the road, it's going to be big, you may be right. But now is not the time to buy it. Wait for a couple of days, a week. It'll be down here. Yeah,
let it cool off.
You could get a much better price after the news. Believe me. Have you ever seen a stock just keep going besides Tesla? No, no. These all come down after they have these big rips. So don't buy it on the day the news comes out if you like it for a long hold. You know, a stock that caught my interest this week, I wasn't going to talk about it. I'm wondering if I can even rip. Oh, you weren't supposed to see that. I don't know how old most of our viewers are out there, but there was a TV show on TV back in the 70s called The Banana Splits. You guys know the Banana Splits? The Banana Splits drove buggies, and the buggies are now going to be remade. The actual intellectual property for the exact buggies I'm showing you right now are are being made again, and they want to actually build parts. Here we go. Images.
I've never heard of this.
You've never heard of this?
No.
Banana Splits. Those right there. That picture is the Banana
Is that
Splits.
the one that does the land and the water?
Yes.
The vehicle. Oh, cool.
Yes.
I want one of those.
This right here. That right there is exactly what they're going to be making. And they've actually now got it with a track, like a tank that goes around those 6 wheels. And what is it called? Oh, Max ATV. Max ATV. They just bought the, there it is. These are, and you can see they've got those tracks on them here. Now they've actually got a video and they're pretty decent. They pivot, they move quick, and they're going to make exactly the same ones because there's a ton of these in garages around the country that just aren't running anymore because nobody's been selling parts. And they are going to be the OEM factory, original equipment manufacturer. And people are going to be able to now buy parts for their buggies, and they're going to be driving them around. And they anticipate that just in itself is going to get interest in the buggies again. So that's what they're doing. They've got all different types of them, though. They're going to start with their light version, the ones the kids play with and stuff, but they're coming out with others. My question, though, was they didn't say anything about how it's powered. So I'm presuming it's petrol, that it's gas. I don't think it's electric, and I would have thought that would have been it. But if you're going to stick to a simple, tried and true design and you want to sell parts for the ones already out there, you got to make petrol. That's what we had. So maybe somewhere down the line, they come out with the
an EV version.
Yeah, the electric version. I'm trying to think of the company's name that makes this. I'm looking for their ticker right now. Geez, I'm trying to remember because
never heard of any of this. However, I like it. I mean,
it was in my video last night. I think it was last night. ATX, doggone it. I can't find there it is. PRRY. That's right. That's right.
Okay.
It's a name you would not expect because the name doesn't make sense. But then they were losing money. They needed to do something. Planet Resource Recovery. Now, there was a bounce on the news. Then it fell back. So it's really at a good price, but that's all they're doing right now is focusing in on these buggies, and they really think that they can do something with it, especially by creating the OEM factory to fix all the ones already out there.
Yeah. Well, something to keep an eye on. I know PB Alerts was asking you to look at RLBD. That's another one to look at. It says they're doing big things. I don't know what big things
Real
are.
brands. I do believe in me. Is this Real Brands? Yeah, Real Brands. I've watched Real Brands off and on. What is going on with them? Let's see what sort of activity they had today.
Doing big things. What's the big things? Let's see.
About half as much volume today, so there's probably no actual catalyst going on at this very moment. 370 million in the float.
Oh.
Not a bad float. It's not a low float, but it ain't going to kill you. All right, their most recent news was, is anything down there? No. Most recent news, Real Brands signs letter of intent to acquire assets of Boulder Botanical. Boulder Botanical, so they're getting into CBD. I thought Real Brands was already in CBD as it was. Original product development and research, consumer products and fulfillment service products is through some of the nation's largest retail channels, including CVS, Sam's Club, Target, Whole Foods, Safeway, Costco, 7-Eleven, Circle K. All right, if they're not name dropping, they've definitely got this.
That's some good vendors there.
Yeah. So, yeah, it looks like they've got some things building up here. What other sort of news did they have behind this? Now, that was a few months ago. And, that's the way it is. You really don't expect news every week. Real Brand announces entering the medical psychedelic market, partners with Marku and Aurora. All right, CBDs and psychedelics. We've got a couple companies that are doing that hand in hand for some reason. Enter strategic EU distribution partnership with Keratin LET. So that's all this year, all in the last few months. They have been doing something. I want to take a look at this chart.
It's so nice to see that they are doing something. It's not, they put out an article last year and then it just dropped off the face of the earth, because that happens too. So it's nice to see that they are still continuing these things. It takes time, you guys. Let's look at it.
She has been under. Let's go to the 4 hour. I want to see 4 hours.
Yeah.
All right. So she probably had some strong news here. Is this March? That's February. Let's see. Was there any news there in February? That's the 20th.
I almost guarantee it.
Real Brands Inc. files to uplist to the QB.
There it is.
There it is. And she's on the QB. So that gave her punch. Boom. She rode down like a sled down on the 200 here, slipped and fell under the 50 and has been falling ever since to a real drastic low here of just over a penny. She was about 5.5 cents before. She is breaking her 50 right now. The volume is a lot stronger now than it has been in a while. Look at see the pattern here? See that mirror image? Yep. And it is spreading apart. So on the 4 hour, it shows that she is changing direction and is growing in value. Let's see what it looks like on the 20-day. I'd like to see that pattern. Well, she had a big pullback. What was it? Today. Yeah, nice strong bounce yesterday. Got over the 200. Looked like she wanted to hang on to it. It's actually testing it. That's what this is. She's right back underneath it. So I think she's fighting the 200 right now. That's what Real Brands looks like. It looks like it's losing the battle at this very, very second, but it is in the midst of a breakout. It's gotten through and it's got its first test right here. So I'd be looking for a bounce on this. Some timely news or filing right now wouldn't hurt on a breakout or even a tweet. I see many CEOs, I swear to God, they watch the charts and say, ooh, it's right at a breakout. I'll go make a tweet. Bam, and it just launches. Once it gets
just blasts off.
I swear they do. I would.
Happens. Yeah,
I would. One potato, two potato, three potato. What's that mean, Horace? Am I moving too fast?
There's no telling what we were talking about when it did make me laugh though. Jerome was asking about NUVG. I put it on the screen for you. Yeah, we might as well look at it while we're here.
NUVG. Aren't we talking about the merger play with Cartel? Is that who it is? No, the I can't remember. I know they got a merger. Who are we looking at? NUVG.
Yep.
Who are they with?
UVG.
Who is the merger? Man, so many Pro Music. I was going to say music. I thought it was that one. This is they are the 5th music company in America. Basically, they're like a talent agency, if you will, and they go around collecting royalties for the songs that their artists sing, wherever it's being played, a bowling alley, a bar, a movie theater. If you're playing their music, they want to get paid, and they end up in court a lot. They're suing people all the time to get payment. Yeah, they are, but they're making money. They have a lot of artists. They've got a lot of rights, a lot of IP, if you will. Pro Music Rights Inc., one of the world's largest music licensing companies, announces that it intends to release its financials by August 19, 2022. That's what we've been waiting for. A lot of times with these mergers, most of the time, you don't get any financials on the takeover company, not for a while. So we bid the company up on the news, but we have no clue what the company's worth. We just don't know because it was a private company. They don't publicize their financials.
And it could, this right here can make it build up until that 19th, until that's release of their earnings.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
see it trending up because of that.
Yeah, a heads up. And did we get a bounce? We did. We got 25% bounce on that news, and that did come out today. Let me see. That's the same piece of news there. 3 days ago. All right, they're still talking about closing the reverse merger. And that's really what it has been, a process. And if you look, just for your own interest, if you go back and find the very first piece of news about when they were thinking about this and all the pieces of news in between, go look at the chart and see how many times it's bounced.
Don, hold on just a second. Sandtribe's saying that it has no audio. Everybody else, can you hear us? Can y'all hear?
Yeah, can you guys give us a thumbs up if you can hear us?
Sandtribe, it might just be you. You're the only one that said that.
Jerome, you out there, buddy? Can you give us a thumbs up if you hear us? We've got no way of telling.
We got 14 viewers. Just let us know if y'all can hear us. I think we're okay, but I don't know what's going on with that. And I don't want anybody to miss any information. All right, Jerome, and then can you hear us? Thank you,
Jerome.
So, Sandtribe, check your audio. I'm going to post it too. You go ahead, John. Sorry.
Yeah, you can't tell them.
I'm trying.
Let's go do that. Let's go look at the chart and see how many times it's bounced. Now, I don't know how long ago they started talking about this deal. That's 4 hours. Geez, looks like there's some time missing here. That is on. Really? Oh, okay. That's July 2nd. So we're looking at about a month and a half ago, roughly. So we had a big punch here. Now, folks, if your charts look different than mine, you're looking and going, what the heck is that? I'm using the Hikinashi. You won't see any bald spots, any dashes. You always can tell if the trend is down by the color, if the trend is up by the color. You can also get an indication.
I don't know how you look at OTC without Hikinashi. I can't view the OTC, a lot of those charts without it, John. It's so hard to read. So,
wait, the empty gaps.
Yeah, I suggest anybody that's trading OTCs or markets that don't have a lot of volume, maybe that you turn on your Hikinashi.
Yeah, you can see patterns, you can see direction. They're a lot easier to read. And as you said, when you're looking at the candles, you end up with these big bald spots and you have no clue what direction it was even thinking about moving. It just looks like it's all over the place. This at least gives us a trend.
It looks like something that came out of a typewriter. It's really hard to read. I don't like it.
That's right. It does. So 4 hour, you can see. I mean, she's got a pattern here. She's rolling up right now. She's just coming up over the 20. Let's see on that 20 day. It's actually looking good. It's looking like it's coming out of its barrel down here. Really came down low. But it's what do you think? That looks like a recovery trajectory to you?
That's what I'm seeing here. And that's what I think is happening. So as long as we get enough volume that keeps coming in and we can hold above the other, start holding some support, then we're reversing out of this now.
Yeah, so we've got our 200 just arching up right there. But I was looking at the 30-minute, our 30-day, our 200-day just jumped into the picture. And curiously, I don't know why, but in most cases, as soon as a large SMA appears on the board, the price gravitates to it. Oh, there's the line with all the data.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's down or up. It just sucks right to it. So I normally expect that now. It's like, oh, okay, there's a new line there. Hopefully it's way up here. Yeah. It's like you can count on about 80% of the time. So I like this company. I do want to see those financials, and I think those financials are going to get this thing moving. Chances are it's probably going to move tomorrow too. I think you're right, Lily. I think that people are going to get excited.
It's building up to me.
It's speculation. OTC traders love their speculation. They make things bigger than they are, right? TGGI, 1.2 million. We're 6 billion. We like to make that fish a whale.
I got another comment. Let's see. I think it's Rhonda.
Hi, Rhonda.
RS Rhonda here. She says, any insight on Ifxy? It seems they are very sluggish with progression and news releases. That could be expected with a lot of the OTC. You'll get a lot of hype and then nothing. That happens.
All right. Not a stranger to this one, but nothing's jumping out.
I think it was really hot about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago before I got sick. Apologies, you guys. I'm a little behind.
We have had some news here recently. They were talking for a while. You can see all the way back here. They're talking about getting an acquisition. How many months ago? That's like 3 months ago. They've been talking about it. And then here, Infrax System completes its acquisition of My Pulp LLC. I have no idea with the name like that. I'm thinking they deal with oranges, but I doubt.
I think it's Latin food service. I think it was, John.
You're on this then, aren't you? Acquisition of My Pulp and U.S. master importer distributor of nostalgic foods Latin American market segment. Give that girl a gold cookie. That's beautiful, boy. Yeah. Amazon store. My Pulp revenues exceeded $22 million at the end of 2021. So they are making money. It's not like they're just a dead company. So they've got this. So you do have a new acquisition. Where are they running this?
I think that's what was being anticipated. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see the price falling after that. I'm not sure though.
Let's see what her share structure is. Always like to know that information. Oh, got a ton of shares, 2 billion shares in the float.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch. That's about all you can say.
It probably moved as much as it could, to be honest. I mean, you need a lot of volume to move that.
Trying to get the financials up here. It doesn't want to show me my financials. I'm going to get rid of my news.
Well, we know we got 12 million at least.
All right, we're not getting anything there. What's going on? I'm kind of stifled here. Let me refresh.
Mine does that sometimes too.
All right, just as it comes up. Nothing. All right, we got Shell Company up there. And that's going to be the thing. So they've just made a deal, a week ago. It finally closed. They're still marked here as a shell company. That should fall off, but they haven't reported any revenues yet. So now they're in danger of being shell risk, like TGGI. They just got a business.
And then if that happens, John, the shell risk, don't they have like 15 days after that?
No, not for shell risk. That's for the Pink Limited.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a bad game. That's a much shorter clock, Pink Limited. Shell risk, I don't know how much time you get. A lot of those are 6 months, Okay. Let's see what the chart looks like for IFX.
Yeah, let's look at it, because that news came out last week, was it? Yeah, you see what happened.
All right, let's look at the 4 hour. All right, so she has been right here for the last 4 months. She's been pretty much hanging around the 200 underneath it. I guess that news about My Pulp got everybody excited in the last month. And there it goes all the way.
Buy the rumors, sell the news situation. And that's usually how it always is.
Yes. So it's actually normal right now. The depression, you had your big surge, you had your profit takers, all these people who were under the 200, they rolled that up and now it's on top of the 200. They sold and they lifted it up just a little bit. Now we're waiting for information about My Pulp or what they're going to do, where they're going to be, blah, blah, blah.
So probably a lot of sideways action until then.
This may even dip a little bit lower. You may find it coming right back down to where it was sitting for a long time. It's very likely. And that would be a good time if you're already holding it to maybe get some more. I don't know what price you paid, but that's going to be a pretty low average. And if this is where it wants to go when it gets excited, you've got yourself, that's almost 85, 90% gains just back up to this point.
Yeah. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, that could change. And if they're not putting out continuous news and more, hype to go behind it, you're going to see it go sideways and fall a little bit for sure.
Snookeroo, I'm glad you showed up, buddy. Sound
Yes,
5x5 here. Oh, cryptic. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Don't know what that means.
So Signor Pops said that HVCW reverse merger today with a solar company, #1 breakout in iHub.
I had that on my list here,
and he said there's a 26 million revenue as well. So I'm not following this one, so let's look at it. Yeah, HVCW.
HCVW?
Yes.
Really?
Hotel Victor Charlie Whiskey.
I think isn't it this one?
Is it HCVI?
Yeah.
Hennessy. I like that. Hennessy.
I'm thinking it is. Now maybe I'm wrong. Because there was a reverse merger I've been following here. Doggone it. Because I can't bring up the ticker that he's got there.
Maybe it is
HVCW. I'll try it again. HCVW.
No, HV. Hotel Victor.
See, dyslexic.
CW.
Yes, Harrison Vickers Waterman. I think I tagged this in one of my videos the other day because they had made a merger and it was with and there wasn't anything happening, but I said you may want to watch this. People
sometimes it takes a couple of days and then blast off. So let's see.
And there's one there. I'm trying to get him to come up. It doesn't like me. Harrison Vickers and Waterman. Oh, right. The Penn merger and their sub Pacific Energy Network. That's right. Plan of merger that they were doing. Pacific Energy Network is a California-based parent company of several subsidiaries that manage solar roofing, HVAC, security, distribution. Right. There you go. Been lots of these solar companies. Sing is running.
Everything solar is doing well right now.
Hydrogen is picking up right now. Green energy. Green energy,
yes.
So
it's because of that recent bill we were talking about at the beginning, you guys.
Absolutely. That bill that was passed by Biden is actually helping this time. It's actually one that's putting our OTC market into gear. There have been a lot of solar companies moving. I own a couple of hydrogen that have been down. They were coming up today. I was scratching my head looking for news. Oh, right. The bill. I forgot about the bill. Yeah. So let's go take a look at HVCW. Get that right. HVCW.
Got a few more minutes, you guys. So y'all get your tickers in there. We're going to be wrapping up pretty soon.
So we got a high back here of 0008. She's been riding low right down here on the floor, bouncing off it for quite a while. She got over the 200 and really in a short period of time, because 000s don't move fast, she is climbing the ladder right now. Let's look at that 20 day
that's
one.
a pretty substantial move.
Yeah, we've been seeing a couple of these stocks that are down in the triples that are in solar actually starting to move up. So she's actually getting on top of her. Oh, see, we got a new SMA here, a 200 haul. Now, most of you don't have that on your charts, but that's the same thing as a 200-day SMA. It's 200 days averaged together, but they give more credence to the prices now. So the line is normally a little closer to the price, but it is respected by the charts, and we are now bouncing on top of our 200 haul. So she's going step by step by step, and look at our pattern here, our ADX and our PPO. They were going sideways, as you can see, and now are spreading apart. So things, MACD is growing almost in the overbought on the RSI on the 30-minute. So, yeah, I like all the solar plays right now. I don't know how long they're going to run, probably longer than contraceptive companies.
It's going to run for a little while, but it's also going to depend on our market as well. If the market starts doing poorly again, if we start coming down, you're probably going to see pullbacks in these. But I think this bill, as long as they keep discussing it, they keep doing the funding for it and keep pushing it out there, these companies will do okay. But eventually it gets to a point where your investors or your traders are going to take profits, you guys. Just know that.
I see, who is this asking? Sand Tribe's asking, oh, he can hear us again. Or else he's
Good.
reading lips.
Maybe.
ACMB's been bouncing for the past month. ACMB, really?
I'm not familiar with that one.
I'm not familiar with it, and the chart doesn't look like it's bouncing. I wonder if we get these tickers wrong sometimes. This just looks like downhill run to me, a toboggan run.
Yeah, it's got a little further. That doesn't look, no, that don't look good.
It was at $1.50 back here at the beginning of the year, and we're at 18 cents right now. Agro Capital. Not familiar with this company at all. Let's see what we got here. I'll get rid of this guy. We don't need him anymore. Who was that? ACMB?
It's ACMB, yep.
ACMB. Agro Capital. News in May. Classworks. Did they change their name? They may have changed their name here. Classworks announces upcoming event. I don't see any activities here.
May 25th, 2021. That's the last news we had.
Oh, is that what you saw there?
It said 2021.
Oh, 2021. So we haven't had current news.
No wonder it's going down like it was.
Silence is deadly.
Yeah, it's deadly in the OTC market. They
So
want somebody talking to them constantly, or Twitter, something.
They've got all the right information. They're current. They've got their verified profile and transfer.
They're reporting.
Yeah, everything looks good in that regard. They're just not talking to their investors. They're making money.
That's not good.
They did 6.4 million at the end of last year. Got to keep almost 3 million. And are they still making money? They're still swinging their bat and hitting the ball. So, you know, they are doing something, but outside of the financials, which is honestly where you need to go. If they're not going to talk to you, don't go running around Google. Just go into their 10K or their 10Q and get as much information. What was it, a 10K or just a no, their disclosures. And sad to say, disclosures don't give you a lot of information. 10Ks, 10Qs, boy, they got to tell you everything. They got to tell you what they're scared of. They got to tell you what they're worried about, what might go wrong. They don't tell you all that
sometimes
stuff.
When I read those, John, sometimes there's too much information, and I'm
oh my God, a tornado!
To say that, and then next thing you know, the market's overreacting, and I'm like, oh, it's just a mess. So, yeah,
I gotta say, I skipped that part because they cover everything.
They
if
do.
my cat comes home early, I might wake up late, and oh, for God's sake,
the CEO got a speeding ticket. What? Don't even know.
All right, let's see here. QNGY.
Yes, I wanted to look at that before we go. So QNGY and Kern.
QNGY, I do believe, is the LiDAR company, if I'm correct here.
That one I'm not familiar with.
No,
we've been playing that one.
No, that's not the LiDAR company. That's the merger with Quadamore or Quadacore.
We've been playing that one. We've been playing. I know that ticker. Now, I don't know what's going on with it. I just know we've made some money.
It's going to have to be an 8K here. I'm almost sure it's the energy company.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, wait a minute. No, see, there's the LiDAR right there, the LiDAR sensors. That's right. This is the company that has made 2 deals here. Sorry, folks, this is not the merger. This is the LiDAR. Where's their news? There you go. Quinergy receives multi-million-dollar order for prime secured. And then back here, they had another one here. Quinergy announces world's first 2D 360 LiDAR. LiDAR are these semiconductor chips that make computers be able to see. They can see things with LiDAR. That's
what they use for their automated vehicles and stuff too. LiDAR sensors, so they can tell if something's coming or not, and it drives. It
was the primary first focus for LiDAR for the consumers. Yeah. And now they're putting them in robots, security systems,
I'm sure and their drones and everything else.
Their security system, they say they can see something as small as a pen from tens of meters away, throwing over a fence. So that security can see bombs and all sorts of stuff, guns. So they've got lots of different LiDARs, and LiDARs are going to be big. I mean, robots are going to have to see. So they've got lots of different LiDARs. They are doing more and more business right now. It doesn't seem that they've got a shortage of products or supplies. I haven't read anything about that. Let's see what their share structure is. I haven't looked it up. It's under 92 million. We know that much. And was there any volume today? She did drop a little bit. She doubled her volume.
I swear I traded this one.
I'm going to come in a little bit closer here.
I might have it confused.
There's our 30-minute chart. Let's see if we can get it on the 1 hour because she goes pretty flat, actually. You can see she was flat here until she broke the 200. Once she got over that 200, all the activity came into the picture. But it is volatile. I mean, it's everywhere. It's jumping here from 34 cents to 54 cents, falling back down and staying. I mean, that's a huge channel it's bouncing in right now. And until it actually breaks this channel one way or the other, it's kind of tough to tell what's going to go on. The technicals don't give any hint right now on the direction.
Yeah, it's tough. But you could always play it off the bottom of that trend right there. And if you're wrong, you can always stop out. But it's very possible it might give you another chance for that. So
you see that? Look at that perfect cup and handle. Perfect cup and handle right there. Is. She fell down, came up, came down about 1/3, and then shot up. That's what we look for, folks. You look for that cup to drop on the other side for about 1/3, and then boom, it's not going to stay up there. Don't get greedy. You're just
it's got to make the handle still.
Do you ever play that game? What do they call that? Where that woodchuck comes out of a hole and you hit it on the head as it bounces out of different holes. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
boom.
It's when your kids make you mad, right? No, I'm kidding.
That's exactly what day trading is all about. You just got to hit the woodchuck on the head. You ain't got to grab it out of the hole. You just got to hit these things. As soon as it pops, hit it. Get out of there. Hit the next woodchuck. Bam. Get out of there.
So with this one, in my opinion, you would watch, because it's going out for the handle now. It could go either way. I mean, it had a great bounce there.
Yeah,
John's
it's
right.
balanced off right now and just sitting on the 200.
We have a lot of consolidation here. So what's going to happen is it's going to come back and retest. I don't look for that. I don't look for it to come down to the trend line, but it may. And if it doesn't, then what you want to look at is for a breakout. So unless you're just willing to swing it and keep adding the position because you really believe in this one, if not, then you wait for those breakouts and then trade it.
Let's see here. I wanted to check something.
But I mean, the news sounds pretty good.
That day right there, that was the 10th. That
whack-a-mole. That's right. It's whack-a-mole.
That's it. That's
whack-a-mole, yeah.
I knew somebody out there would know. Let me see here. The 10th and the 3rd. The 10th right there. The 4th right there. The 3rd. Folks, this thing jumps every time. Each one of those huge bounces.
Yeah.
Right on the day it had news. Right on the day it had news.
All this tells you how it acts. So,
and if they have lots of different LiDARs, then they have lots of different companies that they can approach and do business with. So we could be seeing press releases for every single contract that they have coming out. And this thing's going to bounce, bounce, bounce. And sooner or later, it's going to start climbing because it's going to show value with all those bloody contracts.
And it'll start getting more attention, actual investors, that want to believe in this. So it'll start holding up better. So definitely, that's a good point, John.
One thing I want to bring up before we take off here, folks.
Oh, we got to look at Kern. We got to look at Kern.
Well, we might not be able to talk about it.
He asked for 2. We can do Kern real quick. We're going to do it real quick.
At the end of the line. No, one.
Real quick.
Okay.
I didn't have nobody else ask. So last one, Kern.
I do believe this is a cannabis company.
It is. I'm familiar with this one. I've traded it
right.
times.
Let's see what we got on our share structure. Under 34 million. I don't know. We haven't had time. On the NASDAQ, it's not on the OTC, which means this company. Now, where's this company from?
I'm actually shocked to see this at 16 cents. Are you kidding?
All right,
this is traded in a long time.
Right. One, it's on the NASDAQ. It can't be under $1 for too long. They'll be given a warning, and they'll have 6 months to get it up over $1 for 20 days in a row. They are a U.S. company on the NASDAQ, which means this company itself does not touch the plant. No U.S. company that touches the plant is allowed on the major exchanges. That's why there's 1,000 of them down on the OTC.
Yeah.
Financials. Yeah, they're making money. Look at that. They got to keep $12 million at the end of last year. And are they still kicking the ball around? Come on, brother. I wore this computer out. Look at this. Yeah. The first quarter of this year, they got over $4.5 million. Look at that. They're steadily doing about $4 to $5 million every 3 months.
Do they have cash on hand, or does it tell you, John? Do you know?
I don't think I've never actually earnings.
Like, are we looking for an offering or shelf offering? Do they need money? If they don't need money and they can get their stuff squared away with their uplisting for the NASDAQ, you'll be okay here. But if not, they're going to have to do a reverse split. You guys be careful there.
They don't have a single filing over here for being a U.S. But being on the NASDAQ, it's not required that the stuff be on the OTCmarkets.com website. So we would actually have to go elsewhere looking for that information.
I've played Kern several times. I'm actually shocked to see it 16 cents. But, I mean, the market has been beat down severely.
All right, let's go back.
But I like this one. Every time we have any kind of news with the bills being passed, I always play Kern.
Look at this. The high over here is over $13.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Seeing it 16 cents is like, what? I am shocked.
Boy, she's got a pattern here, or at least she used to. But you can see she has definitely been on a downtrend. But look at that volume right now. Right now, the volume is just silly. It's off the charts. And I'm not quite sure why, because I haven't seen anything passing in the House that has gone to the Senate and actually been talked about. So, but again, if this company isn't touching the plant, I'd have to dive in to see exactly what it is that they are doing.
I think they have distribution deals is what they're doing. I can't remember exactly.
Right.
But I do like this one. I would want to check into their financials. But the biggest thing is, Jerome, is for this to figure out their insufficiency of being listed. So they can't stay at this level. They're going to have to reverse split, or they're dropping down to the OTC, one or the other.
Yeah, and
I don't like holding those.
Kern's only got 34 million outstanding, and to get that up to just $1. But they wouldn't push it to $1. They push it up a lot higher. You don't want to stay near the danger zone.
Exactly. So I don't like that. So if I played this one, I would only trade it like I in and out until they get that figured out for sure.
And if they do a reverse split, that's going to be a super duper low float when they are all done.
It'll be a low float, which is good. And I would give it a few days to calm down before I even think about playing it.
And they may actually be in a jeopardy for market cap. I was just reading one that is less than 35 million market cap. They got a letter from the NASDAQ and said, you got to get your price up to 35 million on the market cap. And I'm sure if we
those are other requirements. You're right.
Right. And that's a pretty low market cap on the NASDAQ, $5.5 million. So, there could be a reverse split here. You wouldn't want to be in it when that happens. But afterwards, on the OTC, everyone gets upset and they sell. And the price gets even worse. It falls even worse. So if you were in the red before the split, you're in the grave after the split. Yeah, but on the NASDAQ, it can play out differently. It gets more appealing when they see the price has value. More people look at it. So
afterwards, don't touch it before then, and you just trade it and get out. Don't you do that to yourself. Anyway, so we have one more, John. One more. Signor Pops is asking about IFAN, IFAN, a 1.2 billion float. Pink Limited has closed close to 100% over the last month, but no news. And then he's saying the float is severely locked. So I'm assuming he's been, retail has the float locked up, or maybe shorts, not sure. But I'd like to know how you know that for sure.
I'm not a shorter, so I don't follow all of that information. And I know it's important. I know it really comes in handy to know. It's just one of those catalysts on the inside of the game that can really be explosive. I'm looking, since they are Pink Limited, the very first thing I always look at is their quarterlies and their annuals to see what's missing, see what they've got to throw in there. And I see they've got their annual report here, and there's their attorney letter, and that's for August of last year. Then there's their quarterly. So it looks like it's only one quarterly that's missing, the one that would come out on 5 2022. So they don't look real bad. That shouldn't be an issue there.
They do have a shell risk there, but
shell risk there. Are they making any money?
limited.
Okay, so they're not making a bloody cent for the years, and they've got
Anything.
nothing coming in right now at all. And what sort of news do they have to actually show what they're doing?
This is interesting. Like, if it's moving up, it makes me wonder if somebody knows something, a merger or something like that. Or
All right, they do
being
have some news here
acquired.
back in May, which is quite a few months ago. Trademark service application, T's Plus application. Looks like fungi, business research services in the field of fungi. All right, so I'm going to presume this company's probably going to be in psychedelics. That's what they're calling psychedelics,
right.
mushrooms, right?
Yeah.
Palantir Bioceuticals changes name and business model to provide natural alternative to big pharma drugs. So they're obviously getting a change of operation here. I don't know what they were doing before, but it looks like they're going to be going into mushrooms or psilocybin or something. So transfer agent, everything looks good here. They've got all their verified information. Price is pretty decent right now. They did have a bump today, you said. I can see a 10% jump on no news or new filings.
It's been going up, is how he's describing it. So
She's had a high of a nickel. That was quite a while ago.
looks like it gets
Hourly.
bumped pretty often.
All right, for the last 20 days, she's just been bouncing off of the 200, just steady going across without anything. Hit a low bubble here, and one might consider that was the catalyst that got this thing going, that low bubble. Now, let's just see if we go back a year. Is that a 52-week? No, nope. That's not a 52-week low bubble. It's just a low bubble. Let's come down to that hour. And it's been what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days that she has been trending up. No doubt that. Volume is a little stronger, but nothing really noticeable. Nothing that stands out. Technicals have gotten stronger over the last few days. Let's look at the 5-day, 5-minute. So she's gently rolling on the 20. My orange line here, she's just bouncing across it like she did the 200. She's not very pushy. She doesn't really throw her weight around and get scary. There's a nice bounce off the 20 right there. This is what I would do, is I would just watch that 20 with this price. It really seems to pay homage to the 20 the most. And she is on an uptrend, but right now she's pulling down. But look, that's normal for her. She takes a breath.
Right now, it is for now, but we don't know why this is moving. So I agree with John. You play that 20, and if it loses that trend, you can give it a little bit of room to breathe. But if it loses that, it's breaking that trend, you're out.
Let's go big. Hello, folks.
Anyway, I just want to I want to put up here what Jerome was saying.
You can see my zits.
Okay. So thanks for try not to be greedy, and he said enjoys the both of us. Thank you, Jerome. We appreciate that. We enjoy what we do.
Sorry we went over, but I'm glad for all the questions. That's great. I'd rather have too many than not enough.
Signor also wants to follow up with what we're just talking about with iFan. People are thinking it's a Palantir spinoff. Palantir, like the NASDAQ stock Palantir, PLTR. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. I saw the word, but I'm not familiar with the other stocks, so I don't know.
That's the only
I can see how that could happen. And see, sometimes that's all it takes is a little befumbling in your brain, like Zoom and Zom. Remember when they got Zoom and Zom confused?
Well, Zoom, the ticker ZM, but there is a stock out there at ZOOM, and a lot of people got confused with that.
Yeah, so that stock
they were buying the wrong
until
thing.
It died.
Yeah, it did, until they figured it out.
So we will be here next week, same time, folks.
Yes. And
you don't have to come dressed. I will.
You're so welcome. And you guys, with iFan, before we leave, do some digging. There may be something going on that's not public knowledge right now. So, but it could just be hype. So just understand what you're playing, okay? John, thank you so much. You're awesome.
Glad to be here. I'm glad to share a live time with you folks. It's nice to actually see people who are out there.
Sure.
You know, that's nice.
Appreciate
all right, folks.
What we do.
Love you to death. We will see you next week with more information. Bye-bye,
Yeah.
everybody.